Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. This is another recording from Marcus CXTV for Marcus CXTV, and I do this not for money, I do it for therapy and for the sake and the enjoyment of sports. Today, I want to talk about the result of last night's event, Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford, which took place in Las Vegas. I did put a prediction before the match happened, and as I predicted, for those of us who follow boxing who understand the art of boxing, the art of the sweet science for the expert, as my coach would say, rest en paix. Entraîneur Gaetan, Coach Gaetan, that was my French coach. He got buried not too far from here. My father's, I think, is in the same cemetery as him, or not a couple of miles from where he was buried. This man taught this sweet science from the bottoms up, as he learned it when he was in Wales, in the UK, when he came here. In Quebec, he taught us when I was a young man, when I came from South Carolina up here. People look at boxing, they think of it as a brute sport, where you put two pit bulls in a squared circle to fight one another to the death. Now, that's for people who don't know what boxing is all about. Boxing is a sweet science. It is, I can say that after football or soccer, if you will, after American football, boxing to me is like it's life. I breathe it, I digest it, I go to bed as it is on my mind. When I'm awake, I wake up, the sweet science is on my mind. Even though I'm a Muay Thai practitioner, the art of the eight limbs, Thailand. But boxing is truly my first love, and I will always love. Muay Thai will always be second for me, because boxing is what, in my house when I was growing up as a kid, even when we used to go in the island, from my grandfather's father to my father, they all were boxing lovers, showing me old video tips of the George Foremans, Joe Frazier's, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sonny Liston's. It goes on and on and on. Leon Spanks, no teeth, Leon. Rest in peace to Richard Pryor for these jokes. Boxing is in my DNA. So when I give you a prediction of what happened last night, and the prediction came exactly as I told you guys it would be for 12 rounds, no knockout, but a complete domination by Terence Bud Crawford, is because I grew up watching Terence Bud Crawford. In my generation, we had Floyd Mayweather, we had the Pacquiao's, the Marquez's, the Margaritas, all these guys. In 2010, a young man from Gatineau named David, he's a Mexican Canadian, introduced me to Canelo Alvarez in the gym while we were practicing Muay Thai. He said there is this kid from the province of Sinaloa. And respect to all my Sinaloans, respect to Mexico, always, I got respect for all La Familia, always. I did not know who Canelo Alvarez was. But David, wherever you are right now, mi amigo, he introduced me to Canelo Alvarez profile. I said, you know what? I'll check it out, because my father was a big fan of Salvador Sanchez, La Mano de Piedra, the hand of stone. My father was a big fan of Roberto Duran, even though my father's favorite boxer was Sugar Ray Leonard, George Foreman. If you notice, I did not even mention Muhammad Ali, because that's like the upper echelon. That's like the Mountain Olympus of boxing. When I saw Canelo, I said to myself, holy shit, this guy will be a superstar. On his very first 3 fights. Like I told you guys, Canelo's no punk. I see a lot of people making fun of his loss last night. Oh, you don't understand how good Terence Bud Crawford is. And just because the guy lost to T-Bud, I'm not going to sit here and be immature like a jerk and laugh at a man while he's down. You don't kick a man when he's down. My grandfather and my father taught me that. You should respect your opponent when he loses, and if he beats your ass, you still have to show him respect. Yes, Canelo lost last night for 12 rounds, but were you guys watching the match I was watching, or were you guys just watching this for the sake of, oh my god, for other purposes? When I watch boxing, I watch it for the sick enjoyment of boxing. Two bouts last night. A young man came from Ireland by the name of King Calum Walsh. Nobody pay attention to how good this kid was. I was watching him last night. Oh, he's just another Irish boxer. The people are gonna hype him up. I'm like, no, that's the way the media work over here. But the thing is, in Ireland, these guys think different. They're hungry fighters. You see this? When you see that mascot, for the fighting, they know how to fight. In Ireland, their boxers are equivalent to Mexican lightweight boxers. They got a heart. They will outlast you in a slugfest for 12 rounds. And if you're not paying attention, you will get your ass beat up. And Vargas Jr. learned that the hard way last night. Even though his father teaches, coach Terrence Bud Crawford, he was laughing at the guy like, he's just another guy from Ireland. I'm just gonna, no. See, the Titanic said the same thing when they met the iceberg, bro. I'm just gonna plow through it. Nah, it'll sink your ass. So, but to get back to the Canelo thing, respect to King Walsh. I will be keeping an eye on you, by the way, my guy. But to get back to what I was saying about Canelo Alvarez, Canelo is a once-in-a-generation fighter. I believe he's the second greatest fighter from Mexico since Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Just because he lost the belt last night to Terrence Bud Crawford doesn't mean, Me, he will always have my respect. From when he started in 2010 to 2025, 15 years, God blessed me enough and good health to watch these two fighters. Terrence Bud Crawford, I started to pay attention to him in 2012. So I had the profile the whole time in my mind. So when I give you the prediction yesterday, it was not from something I read on a boxing page. It was a compilation of 12 years of accumulating data on these two fighters. Strength and weakness is the whole 9 yards. When I told you Triple G and Dmitry Bivol from Russia exposed Canelo, I had my reason for this. I took these two fighters, one from Kazakhstan, the other one from Russia, and I combined a total of 24 rounds that they fought against Canelo in their trilogies, and I said, holy shit, Canelo will lose this fight. And that's exactly what happened last night. The first three, let me break it down for you guys. The first two rounds were draws. Canelo started to lose the fight from round 3. He chose to lose the fight. I'll explain. He have a wider frame. He's about the same height as T-Bud, same reach. The age difference, 34 to 37 or 33 or something like that. Canelo was hesitant. He focused too much on body shots, and they were ineffective. Terrence Bud Crawford is used to... The guy took a bullet to the head when he was a kid, and the doctor had to remove it out with no damn anesthesia or what that thing called Novocaine. In other words, pain is his ally, buff. If you're gonna hit this guy, you better hit him good in the left and on his right side, the liver. Canelo tried, trust me. And then from round 4, I was like, okay, let's see what happened. We'll move to round 5. And then come the T-Bud that I know, sticking and moving, southpaw. And then he started to land these jabs. The rule of boxing is hit not to get hit. I don't have to be in a slugfest with you and hug you. Not everybody's blessed with the power of Mike Tyson, or the power of Roberto Duran, or the power of Jake LaMotta. No. It don't work like that. Not everybody's born and blessed with the power of George the Grill Foreman. Sometimes you have to nibble your way into victory like Sugar Ray Leonard or Sugar Ray Robinson. Tap, move, tap, move, tap, move. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. T-Bud was hitting Canelo with everything. Like, look, Canelo was getting hit in the shoulders, the neck. What that lady who sang the song "My Neck, My Back"? I mean, he was hitting Canelo. Canelo turned his back. You don't turn your back to an opponent. That's a no-no. In any type of martial art, you don't do that. He was getting hit with a plethora. This is a word I don't use often. A plethora of punches. Like it was like Neo dodging bullets in the Matrix, except he couldn't bend far enough to dodge them. And from round 5 to round 12, Terence Bud Crawford completely dominated the fight. And like I said, Canelo was not acting enough. It's about who get to the other guy first. If we both gonna throw punches, like Truvalo would say, it's about who get to the other guy first. Respect to George Truvalo, by the way, legend. If we both gonna throw punches, I have to connect first before the other guy. Never mind if he hits me with full power. If I reach him first, his punch, his power will drop down to about 60 to 40%. That's like sparring level power. It will not hurt me much. And when we got to round 7, 8, and 9, Canelo wanted to come back a little bit. He hit T-Bud with a couple of headshots, and I was like, okay. And then he went right back to doing the same thing, cornering Terence Bud Crawford, but not throwing punches. If you have a fighter in the corner, you got to make him feel like, you know what, I'm about to give you a lick. You know who was good at that? Thomas the Hitman Hearn. If he put you in that, him and Marvin Hagler, marvelous, respect to Marvelous Hagler. If they put you in that corner, he doesn't have to cut the ring much. He just have to make his body wide and then start swinging. Shoulder to hip, as my coach used to say. Shoulder to hip. Canelo kept throwing punches to T-Bud's ribs, and he was missing a lot of attempts. And the counters, there was like a round 10 when they got in the middle of the ring, and the ref was like, okay, all right, enough with the hugging stuff. And it was a phone booth situation. While they were hugging, then Canelo was trying to throw a jab while they were hugging. Rule number 1 in boxing: you throw a jab to create distance from your opponent for 2 reasons: offensive distance, defensive distance. If I throw a jab, if I'm southpaw or orthodox, whichever one, orthodox is right hand, southpaw is left, for those of you who know boxing. If I throw a jab, my opponent is coming towards me, it's a warning to say, all right, back up, buddy. Why? When I throw that jab, I'm setting up a straight, I'm setting up a hook, or I'm setting up uppercut, like this or like that. Terence Bud Crawford was this guy's a boxing wizard. As soon as they clinch, what did he do? For those of you who watched the fight, he started throwing the mean uppercuts straight to under the chin of Canelo's. In other words, if Canelo was a punk last night, he could have been knocked out in the 10th round. That's why I said you guys will keep laughing at this guy. Like, I'm like, okay, I get it. Your guy won, and Terence Bud Crawford is my guy too, but boxing is my religion. In other words, I cannot just go, T-Bud. Yeah, of course, T-Bud won. Congratulations to T-Bud. Respect. Welcome to the Mount Rushmore of boxing. But the thing is, you have to respect Canelo's legacy for what he's done for the game. We made money together. Like Floyd would say, hey, me, I don't have any bone with the guy at all. And you will always have my respect for life. Your family will always have my respect for life. Sinaloa, Mexico will always have my respect. The entire Mexican community will always have my respect. And before I get to the conclusion of this report for the fight, round 11, this is the part where me and Canelo, I was upset at him for what he did last night. Rule number 1, even if I'm losing, I'm getting my ass kicked by a fighter. I learned this one from Who taught me this when I was watching boxing? Emmanuel Augustus. For those of you who know about Shaolin Kung Fu or Wing Chun, there is a technique called the drunken boxing technique. Which Jackie Chan did practice it like in a movie, but there is a dark side to it. And Emmanuel Augustus actually learned that art and applied it in boxing. And for a guy who drank a lot, he once said, he said, even if I'm getting my ass kicked, I shall never show it to my opponent. I'm gonna play possum, even though it hurts. I'm gonna play possum and pretend that everything is okay so I can make it to the fight without embarrassing my coach, my team, or the fans who pay a lot of money to come watch me. Canelo, if you watch it around 11, you can replay that round like 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times. Within that 3 minute period, you will see this is where he gave up in the fight. T-Bud threw a left hook to the shoulder. Canelo countered with two straights. And he missed both of them punches. His reaction was like, I say you don't do that. You just embarrass your coach. And then he kept looking at, he's like, that's a sign of frustration. Now you psychologically give the opponent the opening to hurt you more. And T-Bud took advantage of that as a shock that he is. The man's a hitman, for God's sake. That's what he does. If he smells blood, he will attack. And it was a cruise control from there on. And congratulations to Terrence Bud Crawford. Sir, in all humility, I bow down before you as the greatest boxer of the generation. You and the guy from the Ukraine, Alexander Usyk, in the heavyweight division, actually a cruiserweight. You guys have taught the entire boxing universe a lesson about size and power. What's the big guy from England, Anthony Joshua? All these guys succumb to what? Boxing technique from the smaller guy. They brought the bigger frame, bigger body mass, and all that stuff. Boxing is not about how big you are. This is not Mr. Universe, okay? Mr. Muscle. No, it's about technique. This is why Cuba make the best Olympian boxers. This is why Mexico make the best small boxers. And Russia makes some of the best middleweight and super middleweights. America make the best, I would say the best heavyweight. We make them over here in North America. We make some mean middleweights because Terrence Bud Crawford just changed the game. Mayweather began the process, and this guy just completed the process last night. It's about technique, not how big you are, how much muscle you have. It's about knowing when to hit, when to evade getting hit, and precisely the anatomy of the body of where to hit to cause a lot of damage. And T-Bud is an expert of that, bro. And last night he executed that to the T for 12 rounds. So now, Mr. Bud Crawford, you are the number 7th in the American boxing list after George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Robinson, and now you are the 7th in the elite. This is a prestigious list for North American boxers, especially American boxers. The Mountain Rushmore. Where Floyd Mayweather Jr. is in it as well, as a defensive juggernaut that he is. Now Terrence Bud Crawford just completed the circle as the number 7th. Undisputed. Never been beaten in his life. All the belts. Ring magazine. The ring. The golden ring that you saw he had, like, this has not been given to a fighter since 1938. Let me go back to that ring that you saw T-Bud had last night. The last time it was issued in boxing, not even Floyd Mayweather have one. It was in 1938 it was issued. Before they brought the Ring magazine belt. So this kid is special. At 37, I don't know if he's going to retire after this fight. But I would like to see him fight like 2 or 3 more times to give us a show as a way of saying goodbye to the game. But as for Canelo, your story is not finished. You're 33, 34 years old. If you're not going to get a rematch with Terrence Bud Crawford, I would like to see Canelo Alvarez fight one of Mexico and Venezuela's greatest sons. And that guy is Joseph Benavidez Jr. That's the fight I want. Again, I repeat, if Canelo is not going to retire, there is a match I would like to have. This is for the Mexican community. This is for the Venezuelan community. They deserve to have that fight. Canelo Alvarez versus Joseph Benavides Jr. That's the fight. Because if you're not gonna fight, what else is there to do? Canelo is one of the greatest boxers of all time. The second greatest boxer in Mexican history, bro. After Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You've won everything. You have achieved everything. Money-wise, fame, Hollywood access, the women, all of that. He's got it all. So for those of you who's jealous of Canelo, nah, me, I'll never disrespect this guy. He's one of my favorites of all time. But it just happened he faced my favorite fighter of this era, Terence Crawford, and something I had to give last night. Either way, I was comfortable. This is why I give prediction to this match. I did not put any money on it, not even a dollar. I've seen like guys like Floyd Mayweather made last night 125K after he bet 50K on Crawford for the 12th round. Congratulations to Floyd. That's what he does. But me, I put on the record before society, before God Almighty, I did not even put a penny in that fight. Out of respect for Canelo, out of respect for T-Bud Crawford, I just wanted to enjoy that fight with a glass of wine. I went to bed. I woke up at like freaking one. I, I fell asleep after I watched Caleb Walsh fought Vargas Jr. And I woke up in about 30 minutes later, around like 1:15, to watch the fight. And I had fun. It was a spectacular event. So Canelo, chin up. You just lost to your equal, and then except like Terence Bud Crawford is an alien, bro. This guy is weird. Never in my life I've seen it. I've seen from my father and my grandfather's collection on VHS and the old tapes that we used to watch. I've watched the Four Kings. I dissected the Four Kings reigns. The great battle in Montreal between Sugar Ray Leonard versus uh, Roberto Duran. The last time they fought in New Orleans at the Superdome. I've watched some of the greatest fighter. I've watched Mickey Rourke versus I said Mickey Rourke. I've watched no, was it what is that guy? Arturo Gatti versus Ward. The War. I've watched all these fights. And I've seen techniques over techniques. Coach used to teach me technique over technique, but Terence Bud Crawford, this guy have to be studied, buff. Because we might be dealing with an alien in a human form. Because this guy's weird. There is no angle to the way he fight. He's just weird. I don't even know how to explain his style. It's like this guy using Shaolin boxing and North American boxing. He's just combined them both. You expect the guy to throw a left hook, he throw something like from freaking on some Wu-Tang shit. So congratulations to Terence Bud Crawford. Respect my guy. You are the greatest of all time in this generation. There'll never be another one like you. And thank you for the wonderful 14 years of watching you fight. And if you choose to fight again, it'll be just to give us a bonus show before you leave the game for good. It was a pleasure. And that's my analysis on this one. Again, I would like Canelo to just announce if he's going to fight again. If you're not going to fight Crawford, please don't forget Joseph Benavides Jr. Mexico deserved this fight, and Venezuela deserved to see this fight. And that's all I'm saying. That's what I have for today when it comes to the boxing. Yeah. Great fight. One of the greatest in history. And respectable fighters for putting on the show last night. Love you both.